township or fishing. You know, if they need to fish all the time, they need to go fishing. But if they need to work for the county, they need to work for the county. Whenever the county asks them to work, we need to work. We never asked them to work. I have never got a volunteer to work on Fridays. But I'm asking for, it's not volunteers because I asked nobody want volunteers. It's mandatory. That's where we're at. Anybody else got any new business? Mr. John, have you got something you'd like to speak with, please?
Yeah, good evening. One of the things that has come up here recently is we're trying to assist the various county agencies, elected officials, and JPs. I've been inundated with requests to write ordinances. I don't write ordinances. That's not my job. That should be the elected officials and the various constitutional officers. We'll review them. We'll give civil or criminal legal advice on matters that come up. But I cannot tell you how many times I've been approached to write ordinance. I don't do that. That's not my job. I have been directing various officials to the various manuals that's put out to the Association of Counties. And I've also been directing those same individuals to contact the Association of Counties, because that's one of the benefits that we get from that organization. They'll help to draft and write the ordinances. My position, and the way I see it, and Prosecutor Etheridge agrees, is if there's a problem with an ordinance, and we need to review that for content, legality, things along those lines, more than happy to do that. But I'm a one-man show, and I know it's going to be hard to believe, but we've had a little bit of an increase in violent crime here lately, and I've been a little tied up with that. As such, I have no problem giving advice 24/7, 365 on any issues. But please, 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 I cannot draft ordinances. It's not my statutory responsibility. It's not my job. And I just ask your indulgence when it comes to that. We have an open door policy at the prosecutor's office, especially for all the JPs. You have a standing invite to come in and see me. Coffee pot's always on. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and ask me any questions you may have.
Appreciate it, Mr. John.
Appreciate it.
Also, we've got a special guest here today, Mr. Mayor Nixon. We had a solid waste meeting, and he's going to give you an update on some of the solid waste. I'll just give a little briefing, then he can carry on further. But if you come up and explain a little bit, we appreciate you coming tonight. You sort of surprised us.
Didn't know I was going to speak on this, but the topic again is solid waste.
You mind walking on up to the front? Maybe they can hear you a little better.
Thank you.
Yeah. We got some older people up here.
David Nixon, I live in the city of Old Shoals. Solid waste board for our region has a hauling service, and they wanted to increase our rate fee. Fuel is going up, $2 a gallon. They argued that this was a burden to them, and they wanted to renegotiate the contract. We met a couple of months ago and decided that we would not renegotiate the contract with them, but what we would do is give them a $2 an hour allowance for fuel. At our meeting recently, just the other day, they submitted a bill that had a recalculated haulage fee. So we sent it back to them for adjustment, telling them that we had agreed to a rate increase in gasoline, but not on the haulage fee. And that's where that matter stands at the moment. We may be searching for a new contractor. A little premature to say that right now, but we agreed to give them a $2 allowance for fuel. That's what we've agreed to do. We'll wait and see what the contract looks like when it comes back at our next meeting.
What they agreed on is $154 a ton, and they went up to $261 a ton.
Very significant increase.
Yeah. So
Much
that's
more than $2.
yeah.
Anything else?
No, sir. We appreciate it.
We're watching your pennies.
We also filled out a letter. I sent a letter to the board today, and they approved it for $34,000 to refund us for the canopy at the transfer station. They did give us I think 40-something hundred or 3,700 last time, and they're going to give us 32,000 back that we spent on the canopy. So we'll have 32,000 extra. All right.
I guess I do have something.
Yes, sir.
Maybe you should have done this in old business, but Tanya told us at the budget committee meeting, we discussed it at Quorum Court, then we discussed it at the budget committee meeting about the bill that was paid to that CAMA software. And at the budget committee meeting, she told us that within 2 days, she was gonna have sent to us that signed addendum. And she didn't send us the signed addendum. She sent us the same addendum that came after the signatures. She's not, I don't think she's here. She's not here tonight.
I will answer that for you. I went back to every bill that we've paid this year, and we have not paid anything on that as of last week.
Okay, so it's my understanding that this is what she's done. She paid the bill to ACT Data Scout. Wait, hold on a second. We haven't paid anything towards CAMA?
Nothing as of last week when I went and did I went back and got every invoice that we built since January 1 until the last week's date. And the only thing we've paid on is the regular billing that we pay for Data Scout every month or every quarter.
For CAMA? I'm sorry. I
No,
misspoke.
we haven't paid nothing on CAMA.
Well, she told us that we had paid the bill for CAMA.
If it is, it's misworded where I can't understand what it's been paid for.
Okay,
That's a subject you'll have to take up with Miss Tanya. We will move on. I have no answers, and she's not here to answer for us, so we don't need to assume. We got enough assuming going on.
fair enough.
Thanks. All right, Miss Don, let's carry on.
I make a motion we read it by title only, read the ordinances.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor to read by title only? Any opposed? All right, Miss Don.
Okay. This is gonna be ordinance 2022-32. An ordinance amending the annual operating budget, the numbers and compensation 2021-124 for the calendar year 2022 for Marion County. And this is appropriating the receipt or the advance that we got on the primary election in the amount of $13,466.04. And we need to appropriate it into extra help per year.
I got a motion.
Second.
Got a second. Any need to talk about this one? If this ordinance passes tonight, I told the election commissioner we would get them paid tomorrow, so we need to get those paid tomorrow.
Justice Scrima?
Yes.
Justice Nichols?
Yes.
Justice Van Kuren?
Yes.
Justice White?
Yes.
Justice Underwood?
Yes.
Justice Madden?
Yes.
Justice Shipman?
Yes.
Justice Brigham? Yes. Justice McCullough?
Yes.
Thank you.
So we got everybody's time sheet and ready to pay them.
Yeah.
We'll have it.
We had some problems today. We had to void out all of them. They were trying to run them at a time. And it didn't work out so well, so we had to pull all of the workers in election commission running the regular payroll. And then go back to work on it tomorrow.
So we'll get paid tomorrow.
Yes.
If we need to, we need to stay late.
I'll stay
We need
out.
to do whatever we got to do to get them paid tomorrow.
Yes, because I've been getting calls.
Yep. They need to be paid tomorrow before we leave. If it's midnight tomorrow, they need to be paid.
Okay, ordinance 22-33. I wrote a little letter regarding this ordinance. Basically what happened is when I went in to update the personnel policy, the as reads was an old version, and so we had to redo it to make it from the new version to the newest version, the amended version. And this is going to amend the personnel policy for the hours for the library. And we can either wait 3 months and read it 3 times each month, or we can suspend the rules and read it all 3 times tonight.
So what's the change on this, Don, or the change in that?
Well, the as reads on 2211 was just this little paragraph here, and that is not correct. That's an old version. And so we had to use, this is the as reads now, And then this is the amended to read. It was just a matter of somebody.
Did we ever go back and,
Version.
I think, we went back and from 1978 till today's date, every ordinance we had that's library was wrong. Is that the same one? Are we about to get that straightened out?
This is just amending the personnel policy to say what hours they're open.
All right.
Motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? Anybody need to talk about this one anymore?
Justice Nichols,
Yes.
Justice Van Kuren,
Yes.
Justice White.
Yes.
Justice Underwood,
Yes.
Justice Madden,
Yes.
Justice Shipman.
Yes.
Justice Brigham,
Yes.
Justice McCullough,
Yes.
Justice Scrimmage.
Yes.
Thank you.
So what do we need to do to be up to date? We need to suspend the rules and get it done. We passed the last one, but then we had changed it. We'd read it 3 times, haven't we?
I read the last one 3 times, it
So,
took 3 months.
Motion to suspend the rules and read this ordinance again.
Second.
Got a motion, a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay. Again, this is, I'm sorry. This is amending the personnel policy to add the current work hours for the Marion County Library.
Motion.
Yep. Motion, a second. Anybody need to talk about this?
That was the second reading. Okay, Justice Van Kuren,
Yes.
Justice White.
Yeah.
Justice Underwood,
Yes.
Justice Madden,
Yes.
Justice Shipman.
Yes.
Justice Brigham,
Yes.
Justice McCullough,
Yes.
Justice Scrimmage, Justice Nichols.
Yes.
Motion to suspend the rules and read the ordinance a 3rd time.
Second.
Got a motion, a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Ms. Dawn.
Okay. Justice White.
Yeah.
Justice Underwood,
Yes.
Justice Madden,
Yes.
Justice Shipman,
Yes.
Justice Brigham, Justice McCullough,
Yes.
Justice Scrimmage,
Yes.
Justice Nichols,
Yes.
Justice Van Kuren.
Yes.
Thank you. This is ordinance 2234. This is an appropriation for supplies to operate the transfer station. And we're appropriating the amount of $5,000 from the transfer station electronic grant fund to the transfers, from 35,3059 to the transfer station electric grant fund 35,59,700. So basically, we're just putting it into a line item.
Right. Motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? Anybody need to talk about this one?
Justice Underwood,
Yes.
Justice Madden,
Yes.
Justice Shipman.
Yes.
Justice Brigham,
Yes.
Justice McCullough,
Yes.
Justice Scrimmage, Justice Nichols,
Yes.
Justice Van Kuren,
Yes.
Justice White.
Yeah.
Thank you. This ordinance is 2022-35. Yeah, right. Okay, this money is appropriating money from the transfer station waste tire fund into parts, repairs and parts for the purchase of new tires.
Motion.
Second.
Got a motion, a second? Ready to talk about this?
Justice Madden,
Yes.
Justice Shipman,
Yes.
Justice Brigham,
Yes.
Justice McCullough,
Yes.
Justice Scrimmage.
Yeah.
Justice Nichols.
Yes.
Justice Van Kuren,
Yes.
Justice White.
Yes.
Justice Underwood.
Yes.
Thank you. $2236. This is a correcting, this is what? We needed to appropriate money for the purchase and installation of the generators for the courthouse and the annex and the payment of the taxes in the amount of $55,600.89.
Motion.
The motion,
Second.
got a second. What happened here is we appropriated this last year, put the generators in, and somehow it didn't get carried over.
Justice Shipman?
Yes.
Justice Brigham? Yes. Justice McCullough?
Yes.
Justice Scrimmel?
Yes.
Justice Nichols?
Yes.
Justice Van Kuren?
Yes.
Justice White?
Yes.
Justice Underwood?
Yes.
Justice Madden?
Yes.
This ordinance is going to correct some errors that were made in the personal services part of the budget and to amend the drug restitution fund in the amount of $10,000 from 3403,400 to 3404,400.
Motion.
Got a motion,
Second.
got a second. Anybody need to talk about this one? Go ahead.
I don't understand how this relates to personal services.
Did you read the attachment?
Yes.
Can you explain it, Ms. Don, real quick? Give us a quick briefing.
I'm sorry?
Can you explain how it does? I guess that's the question.
She said, can you explain what it's doing?
If the $10,000, is that the drug buyback, or is that something
That I
different?
have no idea about.
I think the intent was to,
It looks like it's changing it from one fund to another.
yeah, I don't have those funds on them. So, no, but what do you see
We
going
don't
on
do
there?
any payroll out of those two fund numbers. That's why I'm asking.
Was this regarding the $10,000 that was supposed to be in the payroll? That
In
Karen,
your budget, yes. It refers to that whole entire line as listed in that appropriation.
what was the issue? Remind me. The $10,000 was being pulled from the wrong.
The 304, and it was 3403 dash whatever.
400.
When it should have been 3403, whatever it says there.
It reads 3403, and it's going to be amended to 3404.
Correct.
And that money was pulled from those funds and put into another fund to pay for the,
It's just rereading that same line as it read, exactly as it read, and put it back in as it read. That under error correction in appropriated funds, special funds, that was on your budget, correct that budget.
okay, so the special funds then went into payroll.
No,
Her
this was
question was,
to correct a Scrivener's error in appropriated budget and line item. So it corrected a problem, an error on the budget. You listed all the funds,
Error, I've never even heard that before.
ask Mr. Russo.
A Scrivener's error is either an entry or typekeeping, typo error is made. And because this is an ordinance, it's a legal term used by in legalese, lawyer's terminology, is to fix a typographical error in a spreadsheet. And all this ordinance is doing is taking a Scrivener's error and changing one number so that for accounting purposes, the money's back in the proper fund.
Could I, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
If I understand, it's very simple. The ordinance, there was an error made, but because it was an ordinance passed, so correctly, you have to have a corrective ordinance. Is that simple?
It's that simple.
Okay,
And it can't be done with a judge's order because
That's
it's an
right.
ordinance.
that's right.
Thank you, Mr. John.
did we figure out the issue?
I'll figure it out. No, I don't understand what those two funds have to do with personal services.
I will have another quorum court next month. We'll get it straight next month if it's not right.
It could be because the budget, I'm used to them being separate and they're now together, so it might be something that I'm just need to
it's been wrong this far, so maybe 2 wrongs will make it right.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Anybody else?
It's too long, don't we?
Oh.
I do in this case, I guess.
Did I make a motion?
You got a motion? I got a second.
Okay. Justice Brigham,
Yes.
Justice McCullough,
Yes.
Justice Scrimmon,
Yes.
Justice Nichols.
Yes.
Justice Van Kuren,
Yes.
Justice White.
Yeah.
Justice Underwood,
Yes.
Justice Madden,
Yes.
Justice Shipman.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, this is an ordinance to transfer money for from the additional motor fuel tax fund into the county's, or sales tax county road fund in the amount of $80,000 for the purchase of fuel.
Motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
Anybody need to talk about this one?
Do you know how much that leaves in that account?
This account has $106,000 in it, I think, as of today.
106?
I think it's what it is, and that's the only thing we can use this for is fuel. This is the 1 cent sales tax that the state of Arkansas passed. And we've been getting that, and we've been taking out of it all year. We've been taking so much out for fuel. I think this makes the second draw. I think the first time we took 50,000 out, maybe. But,
That was several years ago, they raised the 0.5%.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the first year we got 4.
Okay.
I can look it up real quick if I need
No,
to.
but I was just making sure we still have some in there, because obviously we're gonna need more
Right.
Yeah, 'cause that's only,
before the end of the year.
that's not even 2 months worth, based on the figure earlier.
Well, the figure is we got about $44,000 worth of fuel this week, or Yeah.
For the month.
for the month. And we've been getting fuel about every 26 days, I think, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, so that's 2 more months.
Basically.
But
Justice Scrimmon,
Yes.
Justice Nichols.
Yes.
Justice Van Kuren,
Yes.
Justice White, Justice Underwood.
Yes.
Justice Madden,
Yes.
Justice Shipman.
Yes.
Justice Brigham,
Yes.
Justice McCullough.
Yes.
$2239, this ordinance is to appropriate $150,000 from the county road fund into their overtime line item.
Motion.
you got a motion?
Second.
You got a second? This right here, we probably won't use probably about 40,000, maybe somewhere in that neighborhood. It's really hard to say. You got 28 guys or 29, and I figured it at $17 an hour average. And it's gonna be somewhere in that neighborhood if we work 5 weeks or something, but we use 20,000 in December and whatever. So I want to make sure we're covered at the end of the year, and whatever's left, it'll just go back into the pot. It's no big deal. Or we can work the overtime and we can come back next month and when that's appropriation and that's our comp time bill up, it doesn't matter to me.
Justice Nichols,
Yes.
Justice Van Kuren,
Yes.
Justice White, Justice Underwood.
Yes.
Justice Madden,
I had a question, but
Oh, go ahead, Brady. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's
I didn't see you.
well,
I just, with the way this fuel is and all, I don't know that we might wanna wait a little bit and see how the fuel, that's $150,000 we may need in November, December to plow snow. I don't know what's the.
That 150,000 will have to be, somebody's gonna have to pay for plowing the snow. And what I got figured right now is if the best 30 to 40,000 that we absolutely gonna spend. But it don't make any difference to me one way or the other.
And then we're talking about layoffs. I don't know what, we might as well just hold on here and see what happens for a few months. I don't know what's the answer, but
What's the deadline on that road?
They've called me twice on it. And we're gonna do the road. We're gonna work overtime on the road. It's gonna be mandatory to work on Fridays till we get that road done. If it
They
take,
didn't give you a deadline on it?
no, they said the day we get it ready, they're ready to start laying the chip seal to it.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
this is for the remainder of the year, right?
Yes.
So we don't know, if I recall, few years ago in December, we didn't even have any salt to put on the roads. And so we don't know what's gonna happen with fuel or anything. But if the road department on a Saturday has to work, they've gotta have the money to pay them. We got in all trouble, I think, 3 or 4 years ago on, money in road department, if I recall.
Anybody else got anything they want to say?
I do. What did you say was currently on the books for comp time for the road department?
Road department's got 241 hours, and my hope,
The money equals to on that?
I didn't figure it out. I mean, I'd have to go to every employee. I've got it, but I ain't got it figured out.
Yeah.
You can look at everybody.
But that's as of June, whatever date we are.
That's up to date.
14.
We won't work mandatory Fridays until we get the roads done.
Yeah,
And
no, I get that. I'm also having just reviewed the personnel manual, knowing that we have a policy about using your comp time or getting paid. So
Yeah, I don't mind
you're
that.
aware of that as well, I'm sure.
40 hours that you guys pay out. I got some right now. It's 39.5. We got $4,000 in there, and I don't mind spending that 4,000, let them bank their overtime, and at the end of the year, let them take it off. It's up to y'all.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just reminding you what the policy is
Yep.
for comp time.
Oh, I know what the policy is. I promise you. I try to live by it.
Me too.
241 hours at $17 an hour is 4,000.
Yeah, we didn't have enough to pay out the comp time last time. We tried to pay it out.
$19.
And we don't want, as previous administration, come and everybody's taking the last 2 months of the year off. To run up their comp time, and we have a crisis, which is the reason that was put in the personnel manual, was so that we have people.
Because we don't want everybody taking off November and December.
Right. Right.
I wouldn't have a problem with 40 or 50,000, but 150 is a pretty good jump to just work 5 weeks on Fridays.
We may work 10 weeks. We're going to work till we get what we need done. I promise you.
I don't know.
Nah, let's get back to the vote. If it passes, it don't pass. It doesn't matter to me.
I got one other question.
Yes, sir.
Isn't there still more money in the road department fund as far as revenue?
We got 1.5 million in there, I think.
So you're not using.
Or
the
she
fleet.
said whatever it was. What'd you say it was, Miss Carla?
I thought 1.5 I thought. So you're not depleting.
1.2.
Yeah,
Okay, so
we got
you're not
1.2 million in one account and
Yeah.
600,000 in another account.
So you're not depleting, and you got that half cent is a special road tax, which must be used for that.
Yeah, the 80,000 is.
But so you're not depleting the revenue of those funds. There's a lot more money in there.
If you go back and look at 2018, when we was broke, these guys went out and hustled and completed every job that they had threw back and accumulated all this money. The hats is off to the road shop guys. They want to got the money. I'm saying we're going to use probably 25 or 30,000 here pretty quick of overtime money. You know that they'll just be banked, and it'll just be like that 1.5 million. It'll be an account.
Are they pretty well for this?
Who's that? Some of them are, some of them not. You know, some of them said they got different jobs on the weekend, but their primary job is the county. They will take vacation. It's mandatory to work. I'm gonna get the roads done. And that's the bottom line. That's my choice. We get back to the vote.
Okay, I'll just start over.
All right.
Justice Nichols?
Yes.
Justice Van Kuren?
Yes.
Justice White?
Yes.
Justice Underwood?
Yes.
Justice Madden?
Yes.
Justice Shipman?
No.
Justice Brigham?
Yes.
Justice McCullough?
Yes.
I can promise the county. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna tell
You
y'all.
haven't voted him yet.
I didn't
Oh,
get
I'm
to
sorry.
vote yet.
Oh, go ahead.
Justice Scrivener?
Yes.
We will not use a
Yes.
penny more than we got to use to get our job done. That is a guarantee. When the judge-elect comes in, he'll have more money than I have when we come in, and he'll have equipment. Guaranteed.
Now, the money that we don't use will stay in the overtime fine.
Yeah, then the judge-elect, he can move it where he wants to,
Well, he'll start with the new budget, it won't,
yeah, he can pay it where he wants to.
he can ask for it, it won't be in the new budget.
Right.
Overtime, if anybody works any, we run out of money. We got $4,000. We couldn't pay it out last time.
We don't want that.
But to answer the question, there's 4 or 5 that don't want to work, period. They don't work when they're here, and they sure don't want to work extra. So that's where we're at. And those would be the ones I lay off if I got to have a layoff. And it won't be people like Bill. Bill's a hard worker. He's got nothing to worry about. That's just my opinion. Roll on.
Resolutions, resolution 22-7. This resolution is authorizing the Marion County Judge to submit explore funding options for a new 911 system as it is 7 years old and there are maintenance issues.
Need a motion?
Got a motion?
I'll make it.
I'll second it.
Got a second? Anybody want to talk about this one? We got the OEM here to talk about it, and we got the 911 coordinator is here also, if y'all want to ask any questions.
They brought it to the budget committee.
I'll let Dwayne and Cassie just, Wayne, you got a couple of minutes. You not got all night.
What this is a result of, we dug into the 911 system that we've had complaints forever. So we dug into what is actually gonna fix our system and make it right correctly. We only have one terminal dispatch side and the other one's piggybacking off of it. When it goes down, we've lost all 911. So we're looking at 2 seat positions, basically what it is, and to fix what we currently have and make it right. We've gotten guarantees from people that have, when it goes in, it will be correct. If there's any issue, 24, 365 days. We've heard that before, but they've actually gave us a guarantee that we would have that service. And the people that's installing it are certified in this system to install it and certified with the radio systems to put them in correctly. And this is a collation of a lot of in-depth and information that we needed to put into the system. The CAD system it's going to save the dispatchers a lot of times. There's a lot of reports going to be running out of that real quickly. When they close out an incident for a fire service, it will send an email to that fire service, whatever they designate email to of that complete call.
I'm sorry, Wayne, one question. The CAD system, the call comes in, they'll be able to identify where that call is coming from, is that correct? Which you can't do today?
No.
Okay, so people out in the rural areas, what we talked about, like when I called, I got Taney County. Now, when I didn't get Marion County, Baxter. So this system would isolate where I'm at.
We will actually be able to identify if you're 90% of people calling cell phones now.
Right.
We will actually be able to identify exactly where you're at.
Okay, thank you.
And we can stay convenient to do the other emergency system. It was Pandora's box, and we actually we can chop this down more to a bare bones thing, but this is a complete package that you have in front of you. It's beneficial to law enforcement. You can track the officer with a computer in his car, and the dispatcher can also send you private messages if you don't want to go out over the airways on an analog system. It's a private to that officer or supervisor too. So we looked at the safety for fireside, law enforcement, and the 911 dispatcher, and the safety for the community.
What's something like this cost, Wayne?
It was the total packages with sales tax and everything is $408,000.
And where will that money come from?
We was looking at, Cassie met with the city of Flippin, and I'm meeting with the city of Bull Shoals to have maybe a small portion. City of Flippin is tentatively agreed to $25,000, and I'm meeting with Bull Shoals City Council on the 22nd next week. The workshop to see if they're, and the rest of it is, we don't have any 911 as far as DSAT money. there's no piece of that money in there for it. It's-
We got, I think 600,000. I may have to ask Miss Carla, how much we got in that, not the American Rescue Fund, but the other, the
Coronavirus.
coronavirus fund? How much money we got in it? Do you know?
Not off the top of my head.
Really?
I've got it.
What?
I was just gonna ask if anyone had on their phone.
And is this gonna do anything to help with the radios that we all got?
The radio side of it is, as Brent mentioned in there, we're looking at, if fire service goes 100% digital, that gives us 3 repeaters. What we did find out, when they installed the system, they shortchanged us and didn't put the digital module into the repeater. That's $10,000 for a repeater versus $32,000 for a new repeater is what it would cost us. So we'll spend 10. That's not, this money we're talking about is just going into the 911. But with the fire service going to 100% digital, it would give us an opportunity, if we could come up with the money to put the 3 repeaters. We've got 2 sites for sure. Tentatively, we're looking Bull Shoals. Hyatt, Bruno would get us a repeater system there.
And is
Bull
that
Shoals.
gonna talk in downtown Ray Valley or backside of Pine Mountain?
It would give us triangular different coverage for the fire service. Law enforcement with the mobile CAD, as long as they're in some sort of cell signal that they're operating on, even if they're in poor radio signal, the mobile CAD, you can send it right to their car. If there are issues, they can send the dispatcher a message if they need help or whatever.
I just know that radio system ain't been worth a flip. It needs,
Yes,
it
correct.
needs some attention, I think,
And that's the reason.
sooner than better.
That was part of the reason that the radio committee and the Chiefs Association last month voted to go 100% digital to help to maybe move these repeaters around to a lot more coverage, because Bull Shoals Tower would cover the backside of Pine Mountain also. If Oakland Promised Land gets the patch for their mobile, or they got the bull roller, I've got this, the turbo motor rollers, right? If they could get the patch for them, they could be able to talk too for Bull Shoals, on that Bull Shoals Tower. Bruno is going to cover a lot of the Anderson Flat and the backside of Freck. Hyatt will cover downtown and the backside of Lakeway.
And nothing in Yellow or flipping.
Now, Flippin has good coverage with South of Peter there, and Yeovil can work off of south of town, south of Peter, and Central Tower.
This is just a resolution to see if y'all will let them go forward with it to get all the stuff.
There's $476,000 in that fund.
Yeah, and he also can take parts of that out and make it cheaper. But you know, they'd wanna go. It just depends how much everybody contributes. But if they can take out the where they know where their officers is at, they can take that out. That'll save 100-something thousand.
136.
So,
They took the mobile system.
but if we're going safety, you know, we need to have that where we'll
And
know.
how long, I mean, this one's been 7 years, how long will they say
What
this
this
system's
guarantee
good
is that
for?
we're looking at right now is they'll replace every bit of equipment we have now. It's been running for 7 years, 365 days. And at the end of that, after 5 years, they'll replace it again.
For free?
That's,
This is a 5-year contract.
yeah, we're paying right now for equipment 5 years from now. Is basically what it boils down to. New equipment now plus 5 years. And we won't pay another dime for 5 years, and then we'll go on a maintenance contract after that.
I think we can use the coronavirus and the rescue fund. I don't know about the rescue fund, but I know we can use the coronavirus.
This,
Yes, sir.
this resolution is just to grant permission for him to get more information.
Yes, sir. And see what y'all's opinion of it is.
I'm all for getting more information.
I am too.
Have you been in contact with any of the fire departments and police departments with this?
Where I've talked to the sheriff-elect and asked him if he was even interested in something like this before he moved forward. It was most definitely, he said the state police have been operating on a system like this for several years, and he wanted to be able to track his officers, and especially if they're in trouble or know where they're at in case of a call coming in. I haven't personally talked to the Flippin Police Department, but I have talked to Bull Shoals mayor to see if they were even interested in something like this. He showed interest.
How about Yellowville Fire?
Yellow Fire,
Yeah.
I talked to the Chiefs Association, fire chiefs at the last meeting about what we were trying to do and accomplish.
Have you talked to Yellowville about coming up with some money?
Yellow
Also?
City?
Yeah.
I have not at this point.
You probably need to do that also.
Yes.
Well, the resolution says other sources also. Doesn't limit them to the two cities.
No.
It just says we're given, if we pass this, then we're saying you can go try to find funding.
Let's take a vote on it and move on.
I've got a motion and a second, so all in favor?
Any opposed?
Yeah.
Resolution 2022-8, be it resolved by the Quorum Court of Marion County, State of Arkansas, a resolution authorizing Marion County Judge to work with the Marion County Community Center Board for a storm shelter to be installed at 386 Community Center Circle, Hillville, Arkansas. This project is a health and safety project for the benefit of the county and would be eligible for American Rescue Funds.
Motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? Anybody need to talk about this one? This is gonna be the community building they're trying to put in out here. This will be the start of the new community building. It'll be a storm shelter, sort of like Flippin School. It'll be open to the public during the day to, play basketball, whatever, and have offices to start off with.
Is that anything the county can help them do, any grading or?
Yeah, we'll,
or any-
the city has committed to help them get all the utilities and stuff in there, but this here will start the infrastructure on it, getting the storm shelter. And it'll be just a small sum on us, but, we're gonna try to help them all we can help them.
The other thing is, just as Brady, I attended the meeting when they discussed this. And if it's a storm shelter, there may be grants that we're eligible for. So that's what that Northwest Arkansas development was suggesting, that we make a storm shelter.
And I agree with all them storm shelters and they're great, but you gotta be in them for them to do any good. I mean, who's gonna come from?
This one here will be more than a storm shelter. It'll be basketball courts and all that.
Yeah, that is
It'll be a community center start for the community.
Not just a storm shelter.
No, it's gonna be the start of the new community center for the Marion County.
All in favor?
Any-
All opposed? Thank you. Resolution 22-9, be it resolved by the Quorum Court of Marion County, State of Arkansas, a resolution authorizing Marion County Judge to explore using American Rescue Funds to obtain bids for renovation of the former sheriff's office building located at 491 Highway 62 West Millville.
Motion.
You got a motion? You got a second? Anybody need to talk about this one? Right now, 911's got a 7 by 12 room that they do all their 911 calls out of, and what they want to do is remodel the old jail, move 911 center and the OEM and some more offices to the old jail.
All in favor? All opposed? Thank you. That's all I have.
I got 2 more things. Next month, we'll have an ordinance to give every employee that's worked from January the 1st to December the 31st, $3.50 an hour for every hour they worked, like we did last year. So we ought to be getting that next month if it passes. I don't see no issues with that. And also,
JP's too.
JP's will too. No more than you work, you ain't gonna get a whole lot. And also, the storm shelters, we got filled out for grants for every community, starting at Yellville to have a storm shelter. It'll cost the $7,000 for a 30 by whatever storm shelter. They furnished the pads, concrete and all. So it'll start at Yellow Summit. It'll go up to Lakeway, Peel. Every community will get a storm shelter, 15 of them. And it's cost us about $60,000 total. And it'll come out of the American Rescue Fund.
Did you say it was $3.50 an hour?
That's what we're shooting for, $3.50 an hour.
That's what I thought.
It'll be just like last year. Every employee that worked continuous will get that. Every elected official will also get it. And all the, I think the part-time, ain't that right, Karen? Part-time, and like the coroners and the JPs and everybody will get a percentage like they did last year. If there's any employees that don't want it, I will pass that on to the next employee. Yes, sir.
I don't know how to go about doing this, but I would like to make sure that if we haven't paid that CAMA bill.
Yeah.
That we don't pay that CAMA bill until we figure out what we have to do legally.
Well, I didn't sign none of the contracts on that. I guarantee you what I signed was the contract, and that was an add-on after the fact.
Right.
And I'm not signing it.
Okay, because this is maybe the first time in 4 years that we're possibly in front of the problem. And I personally do not want the CAMA bill paid until we see what's going on.
Mr. Van Kuren, you need to take that up with the assessor's office. But we will not sign no papers.
That's all I'm
We will not
asking.
sign no claims.
Well, she said she already signed it, so that's why I'm saying I just don't want your office to.
I will not
I
sign.
know, but she told us that. Yeah, she told us she already
She's
paid the bill.
also told us numerous things that.
Let's get back in order. We got enough rumor mills. We don't need no rumors. We got enough
That's
rumor
not-
mills.
That's not rumor.
No, that's not rumor. But I told you what they paid already this year. And that's not rumor, it's fact.
All I'm asking for is some assurance that our plan is to not pay that until we get.
I will assure you that there will be no claim signed for the assessor's office paying anything unless it's legit.
Okay.
I will make it personally, and my staff will not stamp nothing from the assessor's office from this day forward.
Thank you.
I don't care what it is. We do not stamp anything from the assessor's office.
Thank you.
Judge, I'd like to make a comment about the storm shelters.
Yes, ma'am.
During all my years living here,
Yes, ma'am.
I have always been told that the basement of the courthouse was a storm shelter. I think we need to reiterate the fact that it's not stable.
The courthouse is not stable. The fairgrounds is not stable, but we'll have a storm shelter sitting right back here and annex. We'll have one at the fairgrounds. We'll have one at Yellow Summit on up there. We'll have one at Lakeway. We'll have one out there by you. We might even put one on your new road. We might make a pull off. But
Get there.
we're going to try to get every community, Promised Land and Oakland, no far apart. We're going to try to get 2 up there. We're going to try to get every community where they'll be safe.
Well, I know I don't want people thinking we're spending money unnecessarily when we could go to the courthouse. but
The
that's
courthouse
not
has
feasible.
been ruled unsafe.
Yeah.
And the fairgrounds also.
As long as we have Facebook and the Mountaineer Echo, there's gonna be people thinking that we're spending money
Yeah.
unnecessarily.
Yep. Rumor mill. Let's carry on. Anybody got anything else they want to talk about?
Did we get the lawnmower?
We got a brand new lawnmower, and I seen Dan going up the highway on the wrong side of the road. I said, "What's going on, bud?" He said, "I'm driving a Cadillac."
Oh, my God.
Hey, you got a nice mower. Motion.
Motion
Go
to
ahead.
adjourn.
You got a motion?
Second.
Second. Out of here.
No, I ain't doing nothing.